All right. Welcome, everyone, to tonight's webinar, 5 Secrets to Balancing Hormones. I'm Dr. Lulu, and I'm going to be your guide as we go through the classes this evening to talk all about my top 5 tips to really help to balance hormones. So a little bit about me. If you don't know me, it's the first time that you're tuning in. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. And this is going to be a really great way for you, one, to kind of get to know me a little bit better, but also to get to know your hormones, which is really key. So a little bit about me. I'm a naturopathic physician and functional medicine practitioner. I've been practicing in the alternative health field for over 20 years, working in all different realms. I started out as a massage therapist. And even before that, I was a yoga teacher, and I've been in the natural food industry since the 90s. So I really love working with patients from the food perspective, from the physical perspective, the emotional and spiritual, the holistic perspective, really combining all those together. So today I'm going to be revealing my top 5 secrets for balancing hormones, which are going to break it down to make things really simple, because sometimes hormones can be complicated. And so it's nice when we take a step back and really look at the way we can really easily help our body to reboot. So grab a notebook, grab a cup of tea, and let's get started. First, I'm going to be talking about what are some of the main causes of hormonal imbalance. And if you were tuning in, or if you came late to this show today, I put in the chat, there is a PDF that you're going to find. And it is, if you go click on the chat, you're going to see the PDF in there, and you can download that. And we'll also be sending out the recording of this webinar as well as that PDF later. So don't worry. You can also do it now if you just want to relax and listen to me. And we're also going to have time for question and answers at the end of today, but please feel free to put those one in the chat and then also in the Q&A section. So let's talk about the top 10 causes of hormonal imbalance. Then we're going to talk about the secrets to balancing them. So one, chronic stress is the hugest impactor of hormonal imbalance, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And we've seen how much that has impacted our society over the past 2 to 3 years with the pandemic, because people were put in this chronic state of stress. And now we're really seeing the impact of that, especially from the emotional state, people reaching out and wanting new ways to really change their hormones, change their life, and change their stress levels. Number 2 is irregular sleep. Many studies have been done that show that irregular sleep impacts the body hugely, from the hormonal perspective to the way that we eat, the way that we communicate, the way our brain focuses, many different aspects of our sleep, and the immune system, all impacted from poor sleep patterns. Insomnia, there was a study done that shows that over 40 million Americans have poor sleep patterns and are impacted by sleep. So that's huge. So if you're listening and tuning in tonight, sleep is really big. So you want to make sure you're getting that in check. Number 3 are toxins and endocrine disruptors. And I'm going to be talking about those specifically and the way that you can eliminate those in your daily life. Number 4 is poor diet, food allergies, or sensitivity. So now we're talking about how the gut is impacted by stress, by food, and how that then impacts the hormones. So estrogen, one of our main reproductive hormones, not all hormones are reproductive, but one of our main reproductive hormones is made in the gut, right? So we need to have that gut working. Not all of it is, but a lot of it is. We need to have the gut working, as well as the adrenal system. So when we see the adrenal system affected, which is impacted by stress, we also see the gut impacted, which then causes a downstream effect for the body's ability to make reproductive hormones, specifically estrogen. Number 5 is synthetic hormones. So that comes down to hormone birth control as well as hormone replacement therapy. Anytime our body takes a synthetic hormone, it changes our natural hormone production. And it can have a mirror or false sense of view of really looking at how our body might be like, oh yeah, everything is fine. But we're getting a synthetic message because our hormones are messengers. So we want to make sure that we're addressing the body, not from a synthetic standpoint, but from a real way that impacts the hormones. Number 6 is alcohol. So studies have shown that excessive alcohol, now one glass of wine or a beer or something like that might not impact you. It depends on the system. Everybody's different. But excessive use of alcohol, studies have shown that for every glass that we drink of wine specifically, it increases estrogen levels. So when we're, as women especially, and men, as we're drinking a lot of alcohol, we'll have that impact on our estrogen, which changes the estrogen, the progesterone, and the testosterone levels. Number 7 is obesity. So obesity is huge. So in our system, we have the adipose cells in our body, and these adipose cells, they will hold on to toxins. And our fat tissue, we need fat to make hormones, good fat, good cholesterol. So if we don't have good fat, we don't have cholesterol, and that we're having this bad fat accumulate in the system, we're not having the breakdown of estrogen metabolites, and we're having a buildup of poor hormones in the system. Number 10 is over exercising. And I want to make this really clear. It's not just about like over exercising, but it's about not doing the exercise that's in alignment with you. That's one of the reasons why I love doing genetic reports, is because it really shows what is best for your body, because everybody's different. Everybody has a different way that they should exercise, or that exercise is best for them. So those are the 10 categories that can cause an hormonal balance. So I want you to take a mental map of those and think to yourself like, okay, what am I experiencing right now in my life in relationship to all those categories? Maybe one is out of balance. Maybe all of them are. Maybe you have 3. And how can you listen today and tune in and find ways to not quote unquote correct them, because that's not what we're doing when it comes to hormonal imbalance, but how can we adjust those things to create a synergy in the system? Okay, let's talk about stress. So now I'm going to be talking about those, breaking those down and talking about ways that you can really start to tune in to balance those. So stress is one of the leading causes of hormonal imbalance. So we really want to say goodbye to that as soon as possible. And I know it doesn't sound possible, especially with the way that things are, but it really is. And it really comes down to the word simplicity. And I'm not asking you to forget about life, right? Because stress is all around us. It's really about learning how to handle stress in a way that your body doesn't have the impact that it does to create the imbalance. So we want to take stress one step at a time with simplicity, and not have it be a tornado effect around us. So ways that we can handle stress. So what can you do right now in your life to lower stress? Maybe you just want to write down a couple of things. Okay, number 1, I'm going to write down. Okay, number 1, maybe for me, I was doing a lot of traveling, so I was really fatigued. So definitely for me, my immune system has been impacted. Just giving you examples. So to lower that, I've been resting, sleeping, drinking lots of broth, really bringing in a lot of supplements. So what could I do to lower those stress levels, reduce the amount of jet lag, right? To give time to more for myself and restoring. That's just an example. And then, so write down some of those things, just real quick, jot those down. What are your top 3, what can you do to lower your stress levels? Then what is one of the main things causing you stress? So what can you do to reduce it, and what's causing it? And if it's possible to let go of one thing, or go into it with a different intention, right? Intention is everything. It's 100% how we meet each day with intention. So that thing that has been causing you stress doesn't cause the same amount, that same impact of stress that it was causing before. So that's really important. So that's a really easy thing. And maybe that for you, that's a routine that happens daily. Okay, when I get up in the morning, I'm just going to look at it. And it doesn't have to be a massive time period. Like, what's causing me stress today? You doesn't have to even have it write it down. You're like, maybe I didn't eat that great this morning, or maybe I didn't have that much sleep because I don't know, the dog was barking next door, whatever it is, right? Write it down and see how you can change your stress levels. Okay, number 2, we're talking about stress. Reducing stress levels may even be done by reducing the amount of things you've added to your to-do list. So to-do lists can be helpful for some people, right? Because it helps them to do time management. But if you have so many things on your to-do list that you're never able to do any self-care, that's not serving you well. So you want to make sure that you're not hustling and bustling to get everything done on your to-do list, but what on that to-do list is part of your mind, body, and spirit routine. Okay. So we want to look at the to-do list from a self-care perspective and bring things on the to-do list that can be beneficial, whether that's adding in healthy smoothies in the morning or adding in yoga or exercise, sitting out. So it's beautiful weather here in Asheville today, sitting out in the sun and soaking in the vitamin D and just really recharging the system for all the cold weather we've had. And it's really time to let go of the to-do list that's bogging you down and recharge it. Give yourself permission right now to really let that go and to be in a new state. Maybe you're just making something in the moment, a to-do list of the moment. Okay, now the other part of a to-do list is crossing off things on that list that really don't matter, that aren't your priority, and where can you put those off on someone else, right? Whether that's a partner or a family member, or maybe you're just another to-do list. You're like, I'm never going to do those. Do you have those things on your to-do list that just go from day to day to day and they never get done? Maybe those should be taken off. And you want to really give yourself a yes to an invitation that you really want to attend, right? Make it, you don't want to be saying yes to things you don't want to do. You want to say no to the things that aren't serving you and yes to the things that are priority. And you don't have to give an excuse, right? You can just say, hey, this isn't serving me. This is not what I need in my moment. And I don't have to also give an excuse for why. And if you're challenged for giving an excuse, then you really need to look at that relationship a little bit deeper and see why the person has challenged you in general, right? So if giving an excuse makes you feel better, go ahead, right? But remember, you don't have to answer to anyone but yourself. And that's really important when we're talking about stress. Okay, so that's how I want you to look at this stress coming forward, managing stress. So our stress hormone, cortisol hormone, basically that's all about managing your stress, prioritizing your stress to help balance your stress hormone, cortisol. Now let's talk about rest and sleep. So when it comes to rest and sleep, it's really that I would say stress and sleep, they go hand in hand. And rest is something that everybody needs, but a lot of people aren't doing it really properly anymore because there's lots of things on their plate, like that stress that we just talked about. And although it's such an important part of everyone's life and health and hormone balancing, the word hustle like comes up into our vocabulary again, right? How can we make that hustle word as a place of serving us instead of a place that's deteriorating us or not serving us? And whether you want to believe it or not, you're probably hustling in some way, hustling to make your breakfast or hustling to do something else, hustling to go to the grocery store, hustling to feed your kids or hustling to get your self-care done, right? Whether you're a business owner who like works around the clock or that mom that's running to drop off and pick up your kids day and night, or the businesswoman who works long hours, right? And then you still have to run everything else in your life when you get home, that stay-at-home mom or the stay-at-home dad. It's like you're trying to stay alive, really, to keep things going. And that's not restful. That's hustling, and that doesn't serve you. And hormone hustling is not the talk today. It's about hormone balance. So you probably see where I'm going with this, right? You need to rest. Fully 100% rest. And let me clarify, like rest can mean napping, but it doesn't mean napping. Rest in the full sense. What does that mean to you? Really breaking it down for what resting means to you. Here are some examples of what I think that rest is and how I see it portray out to my patients and how I've seen in different studies that works the best. And there's tons of different options. So making a list of what that looks like to you can be really beneficial. So reading a book, right? Not even on an electric device, right? but a real book, because it turns on a different way of thinking and a different part of your brain. Getting a mani-pedi or getting some type of other care, where it's a foot bath or a massage or acupuncture, getting some body work, something like that, checking into a spa for the day, really resting, whether that's a whole detox download, doing maybe a 3-day detox where you're eating cleaner foods, doing a hot bath, maybe you're going somewhere, maybe you're working with me and doing a 3-day retreat, all different types of things. Taking a day off from your usual, and that means a complete turn off of everything that's your usual and doing other things to engage your rest mechanism. You're engaging your rest hormone. Drinking a cup of your favorite tea, right? That can be really simple. Tulsi, lavender, restful teas like chamomile, maybe ashwagandha, whatever your favorite tea is. Sitting in a quiet and restful and peaceful space all by yourself, doing nothing by yourself. And that's can be hard, especially if you're the type A personality, just alone, you, nothing else. When is the last time that you did that? And told people like, hey, I'm taking a day for me, no one else but for me. And I don't want to have any communication. I just want to be me. And maybe you don't have the time in your life for a whole day, but maybe you do. But maybe what does that look like? Maybe that's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, etc. And the other piece is saying no more often. I talked about this. So saying yes to only what fuels you, what ignites you, what brings up your passion, and also allows you to feel the energy, feel the hormonal balance. So just start by adding a few of these into your routine and seeing what that looks like. Seeing if it makes a difference. And maybe there's some other things. Let us know. Put them in the chat over here so that people can see as they're tuning in. What to you engages you and helps fuel you, right? To really help you balance. Okay. Let's talk about removing toxins. This is a huge piece about how we are balancing our hormones, because we are in a state right now of society where we have environmental toxins that are going all around us. We have toxins that we're bringing in. We have emotional toxins, toxicity, social media, the media, news, everything around us is a toxin, right? We have to be able to balance that to be able to have hormonal balance within us. So unfortunately, they're just everywhere, but we can have lots of tools to help us to clean them out or to balance them, right? And you can't just avoid them. Today, I'm just going to avoid everything around me. Well, that might not work, right? We can't just put ourselves in a big bubble, in a big tube, but you can do your best to minimize the toxins around us, how many we have, and also our response to them. I'll have a home, right? And what's your home life? What's your toxin home life? What's around you? And I'm going to go through some things that are areas where you might be bound to find toxins, but you can have a little control over which ones you're actually allowing into your space. That's the big key. So from environmental, what's coming into your space? What foods are you choosing to eat? What are you choosing to drink? I'm going to have some water myself. What music are you choosing to listen to? What friends are you surrounding yourself with? All of those things. And so food and water is a huge piece of our toxin burden or toxin load. So when it comes to food and water, there's many chemicals. It's just kind of part, especially tap water. Huge. I don't recommend anybody be drinking tap water. I don't drink it myself, and I don't recommend that you drink it. And there's lots of ways to charge your water using salt, using a Berkey filter, using a crystal. There's lots of ways to charge your water, and it's important to be charging water and really hydrating your system consistently throughout the day. And there's lots of things used in our food, processed foods, as well as produce that's not grown organically or has been preserved for a longer shelf life. Really, anything that we get in a box is going to have preservatives in it because they want to have it last longer. So it's not a whole food. So eating as many whole foods as you can is really important for balancing your hormones. And there's foods that have been eaten for many generations, right? Many past generations around us that one time we thought were nutritional, right? And now we're seeing, like, we have the different knowledge. Well, wow, my family always used to eat that and said it was really healthy, but really it wasn't. And we're seeing how that's changing. And we're seeing a lot of those old quote unquote foods that are really detrimental. And we're seeing that they're the root causes of many illnesses due to the pattern of eating, like sugar as an example, eating really toxic sugar for the system. And now we're seeing like a diabetic stream through the generations. And now we're seeing toxins all in the food that we eat and in the harvesting process. So if you grow your own foods, if you have your own garden, that's the best way, right? But we don't always have time for that. If you can't do that piece, then buying organic or buying non-GMO or non-sprayed things and shopping in those outside aisles, your farmers markets, those are going to be the best. So not only are toxins unhealthy for your body, but they take away the nutritional property of foods that you would expect to be good for your body. They actually do the opposite effect. They're detrimental. So it's really unfortunate what's happening in our world when it comes to food. And the awareness is key. We can each make a step forward in how we embrace the new foods, right? What are you going to make a priority or in yourself and in your family? So how can you avoid all these toxins in food? So first of all, organic and non-GMO. Number one, hands down, try to do that as much as possible. And looking for the specific toxins in foods and reducing that toxic load on yourself as much as possible. Check out the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 lists and eating within those. These are going to be in your handouts. And also checking the EWG, the Environmental Working Group. This is going to really help you to see what toxins are being used most commonly, and you can check different ingredients and what you're using for maybe your products or things like that. Your health, beauty products or health products, greens, anything you're using. Okay. And aside from following those lists, the EWG, the Dirty Dozen, the Clean 15, my recommendation is to really avoid processed foods as much as possible, really eating whole, clean foods. And if you're not good at reading nutrition labels, take some time to really understand. They can be complicated. My sense is, or when I go to the store, how I look at it, if I don't know an ingredient, I'll look it up on my phone, but look for something else where I do know the ingredients. If it's a label where it has lots of ingredients you don't know, it's probably something you don't want to be ingesting. Look for that whole food and be really specific and choosy and let them know. Go to if you want to, if you like have a product, like, hey, like I really want to know what this product is, go to their social media page, ask them about it, right? Say, why are you using this toxin in your foods? But post something about it, be proactive, right? So when you're doing your grocery list, put down the things that are healthy. And if you're looking for a different food, reach out to me for ideas, especially if you're like avoiding gluten or sugar or dairy. Reach out to me for the brands that I know, love, trust, or if you want me to try things out, right? Hey, Dr. Lulu, can you make a swatch or a swap out, right? You're trying to avoid this. What can we use instead? I love to do those. So if there's things you're really wanting to avoid, right? Really focus on those, but switch those out with the foods that are going to be best for you in the whole foods department. So some ingredients to avoid in processed foods. So these are the top ones, and these are also in your handout as well. So palm oil, these are all really horrible. Palm oil, shortening, high fructose corn syrup. I don't think a lot of you are eating those, but sometimes they sneak in and you want to make sure they're not in any ingredients. Artificial sweeteners, sodium and potassium, benzoates, sodium nitrates and nitrites. These are going to be like in your salami and things like that. Blue, green, red, and yellow dyes, especially with Halloween around the corner. Gluten, so wheat, barley, rye, malt, brewer's yeast, all of those, making sure that if they're in that processed food, how are they processing it? And can you use it in a whole food sense? MSG, butylated hydroxy anisole, or BHA. Okay, all of those. As you get more familiar, you're going to know when you're shopping. But if you're new to this, take the handout with you and take it to the store when you're reading labels. Like, okay, I definitely don't want any of those in my foods. I'm going to look at the label and then I'm going to substitute for something else. Okay, cookware. I want to talk about cookware. Now, cookware is really important because using proper cookware that's not loaded with toxins is really key. I use Caraway, and you can message me or ask me about it later. I use Caraway. It's a great cookware system. It doesn't have any toxins and it's non-stick. I love it. That's what I use. But you want to look for something that it's ceramic, that has a glaze made with non-toxic minerals and oxides. And you can look for like cast iron pans are a great one. You don't want to use anything that has a fake coating on it, right? A non-stick pan or anything where the metal is going to come off. But a cast iron pan can be helpful for if you keep it nice and seasoned. Plastic, if you use it, which I don't recommend using plastic, glass is really better. Make sure it's BPA free only, right? Because that's going to be an endocrine disruptor. So swap out those plastics for glass, ceramic, or stainless steel. Those are going to be key. Makeup and skincare. So you want to make sure that you're using a really good skincare product or making your own, just using coconut oil or making a nice, I have some recipes, or I love to do DIY stuff. If you're looking for a recipe, reach out to me. I have done so many DIY. I have my own company making products. And so I love to make things, and maybe I'll do one in December about gift products. It's really easy to make your own things. But if you're not going to, you want to make sure that you're buying makeup or face creams or soaps and lotions that don't have any chemicals in them and are vegan and not being tested on animals. And there's lots of good resources for that in your handout as well. So some ingredients to avoid when you're looking at your skincare products. So parabens, carbon black, petroleum jelly, fragrances. And this is really bad in the United States because they can just list it as a fragrance and they don't have to tell us what's in it, which is really poor. Oxybenzone, this is a cancer causing agent in tons of sunscreens. To not use sunscreen as much as possible. When I do, I make sure I get a benzoate free or oxybenzoate free sunscreen. It's usually like super thick and white, but it works. Phthalates, formaldehydes, ethanolamines, 1,4-dioxanes, and butylated hydroxy BHT and BHA. Okay, so that list, that's another one you can just look when you're looking for beauty products, or you go to the store and bring the list with you, or look them up on the EWG. Okay, that's another great space as well. Cleaning products. Another huge place we have toxins. This is if you already know about all of these things and you're just learning more and diving deeper, wanting to switch out things for 2023, go through all of these things in your cabinet and switch things out. Like I went in 2021 plastic free and eliminated so many things that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm using plastic and everything. How did this possible? How did this happen? Right? Like plastic toothpaste, stuff like that. So cleaning products, either making your own or getting refills. And where I live in Asheville, I use a company called where I can go and refill and use non-toxic products. I love them. So look for something like that near you where you can refill non-toxic products or make your own. Okay. Swapping out those products or making your own using fragrance-free ones or unscented, using essential oils, vinegars, baking soda, coarse salts, lemon juice. There's tons of ways you can make your own products, like a window cleaner with just vinegar and essential oil. That's a really good one. And I have lots of recipes for those too. If you need help, let me know. Okay. The next category is movement. So movement is really important. And I remember I mentioned about not overdoing it in the beginning. So I'm going to be talking about the importance of movement from the perspective of hormonal balance. So first of all, are you moving enough? That's number one. Are you moving and are you moving enough? And we talked about rest and sleep being really important for balancing the hormones, but your hormones need to flow through the body. They need to have movement to really allow the body to circulate. And without that movement, the hormones become stagnant. Everything in the body becomes stagnant, but especially hormones. So if you do a lot of sitting, have a sitting job, doing a lot of stuff at the computer, you need to get up and move at least every hour for 15 minutes and do little spurts of, instead of doing like major workouts. This is if you're doing a lot of sitting, doing smaller workouts or smaller bouts of exercise throughout the day to help really move your hormones through the body. And do different things, mix it up: walking, dancing, swimming, cyclocross, cycle fit, HIIT exercises, yoga, Pilates, what calls out to you to get your heart pumping. And don't overdo it. This is your reminder to not overdo it. In fact, I really recommend resting when needed, right? Listening to your body, tuning into what your body really needs. Go hard until you can't anymore, but then rest mentally and physically and spiritually, ready to go hard for again. That's why some people really hit training if you haven't tried that, because it can be really like go and then rest, go and then rest. But I recommend doing some spurts throughout the day and different things to really mix things up with your system. Okay, let's talk about seed cycling. So this is one of my favorite ways to balance hormones. So if you're new to seed cycling, or maybe you've tried it or you have tried it a little bit and know how it worked. So I'm going to talk about it because I love it. So it's a really super and interesting and fun way to get your hormones back on track. And I'm not saying practice this and poof, like magic, everything's going to come back, but it will make a difference, especially over time. So it's a huge and super easy piece that you can add in to help really bring the hormones back into perfect condition. So seed cycling is it's not really like new in the wellness world. We've been using it for a long time, but I would say that it's become like more of a trend. So it's more talked about, but it's proving itself, as I know, as a great tool for supporting female hormone balance. It's just amazing. So what is it? So it's the consumption of nutrient-dense seeds during specific cycling times of the month. So these are specific periods of our menstrual cycle. So there's really like a method to this madness. But it's not really madness because it's seed cycling. I'm going to show you how to do it. So I think it's fun and I love doing seed cycling. It's really easy and it's a fun little activity to partake in monthly for your cycle. It makes you more active in your cycle, right? It really helps to make a difference in making you a part of your cycle. Not that you're not, but making you aware. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So we can all use a little like excitement when we're dealing with PMS or cramps and bleeding for a week, right? So here are some ways. I'm going to share my screen with you now so you can see here. Okay. So here is the seed cycling. So you can see here, there's 4 phases of a hormonal cycle. So over here, we have 1 is a follicular phase, 7 to 10 days. And then we have number 2 is the ovulatory phase. And for those of you that don't know, the first day of your menstrual cycle, right? So we're talking about down here, the first day of your menstrual cycle is day number 1 of your cycle. So if you're just bleeding like today, then day 3 through 7, you would be doing these seeds. So during different types of the month, we use different seeds. So during the menstrual phases, 3 through 7. So this is one reason why you really want to know where you are in your cycle. So if you're not tracking your cycle, first of all, make sure you're doing that right away using like an app like Flow or using a health app so you can start doing these in at the different times of your cycle. So menstrual cycle, sunflower seeds, follicular phase, when we release the follicle, days 7 through 10, pumpkin seeds. Ovulatory cycle, so these are the 3 to 4 days that you are ovulating, flax seeds. The luteal phase, 10 through 14, those are your sesame seeds. Okay, so that's the seed cycle. And during each of these phases, you want to consume those specific seeds to help balance the hormones during those phases, right? So we're eating like and how do you eat those? Putting them on salads, roasting them in the oven, not too high though, because it's better if you can have them raw because you really want to, or grind them up to sprinkle them on salads or sprinkle them on oatmeal, things like that. So during the times of the month, when we eat these seeds, it's going to help balance our hormones because these hormones are activated and balanced by those seeds. It's so fun and easy. I love it. I'm going to talk about the phases now and the seeds more in detail. And remember, this is all in your handout, so don't worry. So the follicular phase, this begins when menstruation ends. So menstruation starts on day 1. Then we're going to have the cycle, and that maybe you bled for 4 days. So then the follicular phase is going to begin when that cycle starts. So during these phases, estrogen is rising, okay, because we're going to be leading into ovulation. Okay, so we're going to be menstruating, the follicular phase, and then into ovulation. And we can support our bodies by eating pumpkin seed and flax seed that contain phytoestrogens. And these help to balance our estrogen levels. So as you move into then the luteal phase, after you've been ovulating and then continue then back again through the menstruation phase, progesterone is then at the peak. So we want to switch up our seeds and consume seeds that sesame and sunflower. And these are going to have the power of supporting, optimizing progesterone production. Okay. So super easy, right? And what you want to do is really just start tracking yourself. And as soon as you're like, okay, great, I'm in that those first 2 weeks, second 2 weeks, first 2 weeks, second 2 weeks, and rotating them up, right? And that's a really great way to start seeing how your cycle works as well, because that's empowering when we know how the body works and how we are ovulating, right? How we're bleeding. This is really important as women that we know our cycles. Meg was just asking, what about sunflower sprouts? It's not the same, Meg. You can, of course, use those, and everybody else out there, you can use these in your diet. Use the sunflower seed sprouts are great for salads, but the seeds themselves, that nut, that actual seed is the fat part. And that's what we want to be eating to signal the system and signal those hormones. That's a great question. Thanks so much. So seed cycling does not mean that you need to be eating these seeds like all day long. Oh my God, you'd burn out. Rather, you want to make a fun mix of the appropriate seeds for the phase that you're in. And then you can even add in some other nuts. It just doesn't have to be just solo those into the mix. And you want to keep that mix handy all the time. So what I recommend is making the jars of your seeds. You make a mix and then pop in the freezer so that the oils don't go rancid, and then just bring them out on the jar, what phase of the month it is. And then you're like, boom, boom, you got it out easy. And then you can add it like into a rice bowl or noodle bowl or on top of your oatmeal or on top of your salad or in a smoothie, right? Really easy to bring those in. And as women, we are always in one of these phases, right? Even if you're not menstruating and you're in perimenopause or menopause, you're still in a hormonal phase because our hormones are still there. Or if you've had a hysterectomy, you still have hormones within the system. Because they come from the liver and the adrenal system. Those are still working, even if the other systems are not. So I recommend eating 1 to 2 tablespoons of those seeds per day. Okay. So if we went back to here, okay, back to our seeds. So here in the phases of your cycle. So let's say, for instance, you're in the follicular phase, you just stopped off your menstrual cycle on maybe it was day 4. Now you're into follicular phase. And as you're tracking, going into ovulation, and this is if you're in a regular cycle of 28 to 32 days. Okay. So if you are in a non-regular cycle and your hormones are imbalanced, you can still mock this, right? You can still do this same thing to regulate yourself. And of course, work with me to help getting things more in balance. But you can do, okay, I know I am supposed to be menstruating during these days. I'm going to do the sunflower seeds. I'm supposed to be in my follicular phase these days. I'm going to do pumpkin seeds, ovulation, flax seeds. Okay. So even if you're not doing those particular, or you're not regular in your hormones, this is going to help balance you. Okay. Which is great. All right. We talked about the 5 things that are my 5 secrets to really help balance your system. So to recap those, we did, first of all, you want to balance your stress. So really look at ways that you can start to manage, balance, and reduce stress as much as possible. 2, restful sleep. And whether that means you're resetting your system, you're doing some sleep hygiene, turning off your electronics, maybe you're drinking some great herbal tea, or you're taking melatonin. Okay, whatever it is that helps you to sleep, listening to relaxing music, reading a book, right? Getting restful sleep. And that is at least 6 to 8 hours. Now, maybe you need more of that, but at least 6 is a bare minimum. You've got to have that restful sleep without waking up consistently through the night to really be rested, and then waking up rested and being able to start your day with a fresh plate. If you are tired, waking up a lot, having irregular sleep, and then waking up feeling exhausted, that's a sign your adrenal system is fatigued, and reach out to me for help for sure. Okay. Then we talked about exercise. Exercise is really important for balancing those hormones, for circulation, to get things moving in the body, to really help the whole picture of the system, not only from the complete exercise of the body, but also from the perspective of we want to keep things moving, right? If we don't use it, we lose it. It's totally true. It's atrophy. If you ever had an injury where you couldn't move your wrist for a month, right? You lost the mobility changes. So it's the same with our hormones. We've got to get them circulating in the system, to get the metabolites moving, to get the new hormones to be made in the body, to get things working properly and efficiently. So that was that piece. And then we talked about toxins. Take a look at and especially if you're moving into the new year, this is a really great time to go through everything in your house, remove all those toxins. It takes work. I totally know that it takes work to remove all plastic. I'm still working at it. It's a really challenging one, especially like for shopping, things like that, but you can do it. I know you can because I can do it. So if I can do it, you can do it. Just take one day at a time. And then also the last thing we talked about was doing seed rotation. So those are my top secrets to really help balance the hormones, and simple, right? Because when we break it down to simplicity, it's really easy for us when things get difficult and challenging. And those are like, it's that foundation, hormonal foundation of those 5 pillars that helps to keep us balanced. So what's next in your hormonal journey? So our hormones play a huge part of our life every single day, every moment. Without them, we have nothing, right? We just be like cardboard people. So we need to be doing whatever we can when possible to keep them in hormonal balance, in symphony. And without those little hormonal messengers, our bodies just simply can't function. So we want to do everything we can to keep them in line, keep them in check, keep them in balance, help support them. And what are you doing, right, that you can help support them? Or you need more help? Tune in with me, make an appointment with me, or check in with me. If you're new to working with me, never have, make a free 15-minute discovery call to find out how it can help bring your hormones into balance. Okay, so now it's really in your hands, right? Now you've got the secrets. Now, what are you going to do with them? Let me know. Send me a message on Instagram and let me know how things are going with you. What are you going to try to do this week to make things exciting for balancing your hormones? I'm going to be sending out a recap of today's lecture with this video, as well as some tips with some other fun things you can start doing. And let me know if you need more help. Of course, I am the resource queen. I got everything you need here, and I love to help you out. Okay, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. It's been a great joy to talk to all of you this evening. And I'm going to open up the floor for questions. There were some coming through. I think I got Meg's. So if you're tuning in and watching this later, you didn't get to tune in live, no worries. Just send me a question now, right? Because I'm always available. And a great way to reach out to me is on all of my amazing things. So you can follow me on, of course, my website, doclulu.com. And I'm always having great webinars. So make sure you're keeping track of that on Instagram, which is at Dr. Lulu Shimmick. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks everyone again for tuning in tonight. And if you have a follow-up question, just let me know. And I appreciate you so much for taking the time to be here tonight with me and letting me share some of my secrets to help you feel amazing. Okay, thanks again, everyone.